Welcome everybody, I'm Avian and this is TaleSpire. It is a map slash campaign builder 3D rendering style meant for various forms of tabletop where you might want to build a map. It does, of course, let you actually play in there. I have not had the opportunity to play a TaleSpire campaign in particular, but I have loved building maps for some of our other tabletop campaigns. You, in the future, will see some of those in the Icewind Dale campaign once I finish editing that and get that up on YouTube. Today, however, we are getting ready to build Fistandia's mansion, which is part of the Level 1 adventure for Candlekeep. What's going on here is we are running Candlekeep as a series of one-shots whenever Brandy, our wonderful DM from QCP, decides she needs some extra planning time, which has actually happened for this next session or two. So I'm going to be running Candlekeep for our wonderful QCP players in the meantime, so we don't miss the opportunity to hang out together and have some fun. And I decided that I wanted to build the map in TaleSpire. There's a couple of reasons for this. The first being that as a DM, it is easier for me to remember what room is what if I can have furniture. And as you see in the lovely official map artwork, it is much more of your classic, just room block style map. So I decided to convert it to make it easier for me. Also, I think it's easier to get in the imagination zone if you have some reference for what you're looking at as a player, and I want my players to be able to do that as well. So, to start with, I have already made my campaign board. Once you're in your board, you want to make sure this little build mode checkbox is toggled. There's a couple different fun features here, including if you need to select, there's an undo, a redo. You can toggle your grid on and off. If it's helpful, I do find the grid helpful, so I'm going to toggle that on. We have different things for moving your camera and getting the sample height. There's also water. If you have water in your map, you can toggle that on or off depending on what's easier for you to work with. And they have an isolation mode where it shows you just the pieces you have selected. I'll be honest, I very rarely use isolation mode. I'm very much a big picture builder. They also have over on the side, they have some overview, tutorials, how-tos that I found useful when I first was starting out. You can create a new board, you can get it to build more this way, look at your library. They have various things. So Fistandia's mansion is set in a demi-plane. It's a variant on the Magnificent Mansion spell. This, like I said, I clicked on Atmosphere here, and it's going to give us a tutorial on how to set some things, which I am going to go into in a moment and actually do. They have other things for your Game Master. Different photo mode. There is definitely a photo mode which we'll be using at the end because I'll need to take a picture of this for everybody. So where you want to go is your board setting, which is the second thing down. Because this is set in a demi-plane, I am going to leave the background as black. You can have fog. There's different atmospheric fogs, calming. They have a darkness. I'm going to turn the darkness on once the map is built, but I'm going to leave it off for now because it's just easier for me to see what I'm doing, but I really like the ability to do that. We have other stats and distances, and I'm going to leave things as are for the rest. They also have the ability to set music and ambient things if you're going to be playing in TaleSpire. Have settings for how to invite people. I'm going to keep it on the campaign board. I'm going to hide that for the moment. And then down here are your pieces library. You can hit your space bar to open and close. They also have both your fantasy settings, and if you keep scrolling, you get into your cyberpunk and sci-fi. I like to mix and match tiles depending on what I'm feeling. The hammer icon lends you to different things like furniture, lights, things like that. I believe they have weapons. And then here, if you want to have tokens, is where you would find some of the pre-existing tokens. The really cool thing that I love is that I believe, let's see, I haven't done it in a bit, but I believe there is a way to import your own tokens. I think there's a way to do it with Hero Forge. But again, we're for this demonstration, we're not doing that. We're just doing the basic map build, trying not to get ahead of myself. So to start off with our main map, there are the curved sections on that middle level. So what I'm going to do is some of these sets have curved floor pieces and some do not. So I'm going to choose my floor tiles based off of which ones have the curved floor pieces. They've done an update since I was last in here, which was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Castle Ruins. Okay, so our lava cavern has a curved. Not sure that fits so well with what I'm thinking of for a magnificent mansion. The story is she set up her own personal library within the Candlekeep library. Ooh, we have the desert with the fancy tiles. We could do that. They've got the curved half wall and things. That might be the way I go on that. They have a whole doors collection. The dungeon cellar has a couple curved pieces, but not, it looks like a half wall. There is a cheat for making a wall look like a half wall. Depending on what I choose, I will show you what it is. The library set is just books. We will be making use of that later. The palace is all square. Mega dungeon, I thought, does have curved pieces. I'm not sure I want the stone look. Alright, so now it's time to build our map. I think I'm pretty set on using the desert pieces because I've been exploring through them a little bit, and they have the different shapes and curves, and as well as some interesting half pieces that I think will fit what I want to do. You can definitely build your map with your tiles on your existing floor pieces, but for me, because I want to make sure that the explorable space matches what we have in our main map, I'm going to be doing the floor pieces and then using the non-joined wall pieces on top of that. I'm going to start with mapping out my main floor, and then we have these interesting little short wall pieces. And if you ever want it, like if you ever have something clicked and you don't want to have it selected anymore, just right click and it goes away. The same as if it's on the map and you decide you don't want to use it, just hold shift, right click, and it goes away. So I'm going to start with the M3 area, which looks like it is a 4x4 grid. It also looks like it's some sort of main. Now, this is why I am building the floors before I do any pieces, because I'm going to have to go back and double check what all of these rooms are. But it looks like something I might want to have tiled. So I'm going to use these fancy tiled pieces. And these are 2x2, so we just put 4 of these together. The next room over is a 3x4. I think I like this. 4. So for the stairs, what I just did, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting I'm trying to do a tutorial, is you have your plane locked. So what I did is I put it on the base plane, hit shift to lock it. That way it's not going to try to stack on me. Then you hold control and you drag it down until those steps are level with where you want them. And there you go. Hold Shift to lock it on the plane, and when it's locked on the plane, you can overlap if you so desire. For it. There it is. It's under exterior. You have your just classic little wooden railing. And you can use your little circle points to make sure they connect to each other where they're supposed to. So you can use it on your, kind of like show you where your lines are. I didn't do this one, didn't line it up correctly. There we go. The other option you have for railing is under fences. You can go through here. There's all sorts of them here. But I like this for what I'm doing for this particular map. Now, like this window isn't quite as big as I would like it to be, but I don't want 2 of these instead. So I'm going to get a little creative here. Go back to our half wall. 2 posts. That sits too high. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these over to the base of the map. I'm going to click on one. I'm going to hold Shift. That's going to keep it in position, because I don't particularly want dark brown at the bottom like that has. But what I do want is this as our upper beam. So you can stack it on top of your post here, hold Control, drag it down till it's level. Ta-da, you've made your own window. I am the fancy post. Alternatively, and what I'm actually going to do is take your half wall, and they have these archways. I'm trying to remember is how tall these things actually are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a post as a guide. It's not going to stay there, but it's going to stay as a guide for me because I want to see how tall I want, and then I'm going to hold Control. Get that down. See, that's going to be too big. Another. I thought I had a side where the arrows were going there. That's what I want. I'll go back to my original idea. You could also take these pieces that are the short arcs. But again, because those are a 2, and I want an arc that goes over just 1, I'm gonna do this the way I've got it. Alright, so I did consult what this area was because I saw a secret door here, and this is supposed to be a planetarium room that looks like a grassy field with sky around it. So we're going to change the floor and walls here. I'm going to go to nature. I'm going to find the grass tiles that I like best. I'm going to go with this one for that bit. Walls. Let's see if I can find walls that look kind of outdoorsy. Again, you just hold Shift and right click. can go to the search and just type wool. Let's kind of scroll through. I'm looking for maybe something kind of dark. I might go for the stone cavern wool just because. There we go. I'm just gonna go for this dark black stone. This one. Alright, so I just spotted a different type of wall that I think will give me what I want just a little bit better on the, actually no. Oops. Keep that wall there. That will give me what I want better on the vibe for what this room is supposed to be, as I see these giant window walls. Oh, not that one. All right, so we have all of our map decorated now. And so now it's time to turn on our fog, which you can go over here to campaign board settings. I'm going to choose the darkness fog because that gives us that creepy extra dimensional space vibe that I want for this. Hide my things. And then you can click F6 for the photo mode. You can take a screenshot here. You can choose for this, I'm choosing top down. You have the ability to set your exposure, to set your lighting, what kind of sky you want, add some post effects if you want. You can do that. Settings. The camera setup. Basically just takes a screenshot for you, and then you can set it to whatever thing about if it's overhead is it stays straight on for you. But yes, after the screenshot is taken, you can set it to whatever map program you might be using. So this was, oh, and if you hit the H key, it'll hide your controls and everything for you. So anyway, so this was TaleSpire. I hope I was helpful. I hope you found the map building part interesting. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.